Hello everybody, MilProAkron here. It's a nice day here in Ohio. Sort of. It's a little chilly, but at least the sky is clear. It rained here for about 2 weeks straight thanks to Hurricane Sandy. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. I am going to show you a product. Now, I am not a paid endorsement for this product. I have no financial affiliation with this company at all. But there's a guy named Doug Orlob. He's an inventor. He's a retired Navy optical man and a dispensing optician from Washington State. And he saw my video on how to shoot with both eyes open and the various issues that are associated with that, with seeing the two sight pictures, one from each eye, etc. And he contacted me and sent me a couple of photographs and videos of an invention that he made, patent pending, that he calls the Occluder Gunsight. And I'm going to show it to you today. He sent me a test version so that I can put it on my gun and see what I thought of it, and I did a full test and evaluation. It was also sent to several other people, so this site is going to get some press here coming up pretty soon, starting in December, I believe. It's going to be in some magazines and online and things like that. But anyway, I was honored that Mr. Orlob would send me a version of his site so that I could check it out myself. And I'm going to share it with you and show you how this thing works. So, here we go. Now, the first thing I need to show you is the gun. This is what the Occluder looks like, mounted on a Glock 19. Okay. Now, this front sight, Doug also sent me this because he recommends using this type of front sight on your firearm in conjunction with the Occluder, but it's not required. So just so you know, I mean, it's his preference, and it does work really well, but it's really not required. This will work with your standard front sight as well. But this is what the Occluder does. This is you looking down the sights. This is what your non-shooting eye sees. Nothing. Looking down the sights, non-shooting eye. I don't know if you're picking that up, but how cool is that? Your non-shooting eye doesn't see the front or rear sights at all. So there's no more confusion about which sight picture your brain wants to, gravitate towards. That's your non-shooting eye, shooting eye. Non-shooting eye, shooting eye. So it doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed. Now what he did was he moved the rear sight down these channels, and these smaller channels block each individual dot. Now this one's called the triple occluder because it occludes both rear sight dots and the front sight dot. So he makes a standard occluder, which is a single occluder that only blocks the front sight, but it maintains the rear sight here. So you're still going to see the rear sight, but you will not see the front sight with your non-shooting eye. But this one is his latest innovation that he calls the triple occluder, because it blocks the view of all three dots from your non-shooting eye. Basically, it turns your iron sights into something very similar to a red dot, where if you see the dots, you pull the trigger, bang, you're done. If you don't see dots, you're no good. If you see three dots, doesn't matter with either eye. If you pull up too fast and you get, maybe you come across onto your weak eye, doesn't matter. You see three dots, pull the trigger, you're done. Non-shooting eye, non-shooting eye. You just can't see the dots from your non-shooting eye. And there you have it. Now, this also has several important uses. Once Doug started experimenting a little bit, what you get is you now have a place here where we talked on other videos about racking your firearm with one hand and raking it across something. Well, now you also have a little ledge there. Now, Doug showed me this trick about cocking it with one hand using the Occluder as a cocker, and it works like this. So now, if you're down to one hand or your other hand's busy, you need to cock your weapon, you can do it with one hand simply by putting your fingers in front of the occluder, making a fist. Then you have a cocked gun. So it's a very, very interesting mechanism and or device, and I actually believe this is the most innovative iron sight design I have ever seen in my life. And that's why I'm doing this video, because I believe in this thing. Like I said, I'm not affiliated with Doug in any way. I'm not involved in this company. There's no financial interest in it for me. But this has got to be the most innovative iron sight I have ever seen in my life. And I think it has very clear applications for law enforcement, for military purposes, and for self-defense. Using this sight, anyone can learn to shoot with both eyes open without having any kind of issue with confused sight picture, with seeing two sight pictures with both of your eyes. So I think it's fantastic. And he has a website. It's occludersight.com. I will put that in the video description for you. His name is Doug Orlob. He has a YouTube site. He has a Facebook site. He has his own website for the devices. He makes several different types of things, including a couple of different sights. He makes one for an AR style rifle. But what I found was, even though this adds a considerable bulk on here, on the top of your firearm, most of my holsters, it has no effect whatsoever. It even fits down in my leather holster. It makes it a little bit tighter, but that's all. And I'm sure the leather will loosen up and be more accepting of the new Occluder sight mounted on it. But it's fantastic. You need to give it a try. You need to check it out. It's available now. Doug is always refining his designs and working on new things, so you need to go to occludersight.com and give it a look. You might be incredibly impressed, just like I was. And I wanted to thank Doug for sending one out to me to evaluate and to test. I feel a little special because I was one of the first people who got to take a look at it and evaluate it. And so I'm a believer. The Occluder sight. Shoot with both eyes open. Till next time. There we go. MilProAkron. Train safe, train hard, stay alive.